DIY, the Do-It-Yourself Network, is showing you the fine art of furniture making with WoodWorks. Coming up next on DIY Network.
Welcome. This time on WoodWorks, we're going to learn the fundamentals of wood turning and make a bowl from a solid block of Claro walnut. So please, join us. Hi, I'm David Marks. Welcome to WoodWorks. This time, we're going to explore the art of turning wood. Turning on a lathe is one of my favorite things to do in woodworking. It's the closest thing to sculpting. It's a skill that will take you a while to master, but the results can be magical. Turning allows you to shape wood in unique and creative ways that are impossible with basic hand tools. Wood turning is another relaxing and satisfying craft in a woodworker's skill set, producing art that will delight the senses and even turn heads. I was first exposed to gallery quality turning around 1980 by Bob Stocksdale, the internationally renowned turner. I watched in amazement as he turned exquisite bowls out of exotic woods. I was hooked. I could see the creative uses of the lathe in my work as a furniture artist, and I've been refining my skills ever since. If you're like me, it's hard to part with a trusted tool. My shop is filled with old favorites, and even though there may be newer tools that are more efficient, I have a sentimental attachment to the tools that I've learned on. Here are my first lathes. I've learned a lot, I've made a lot of mistakes, and I've made many projects on these lathes. This is a Delta Rockwell lathe. It has a 12-inch swing and a 36-inch long bed. It's perfect for general applications, and it's a well-built old cast iron model, which I painted. To minimize vibration, I placed about 400 pounds of sand onto the base and added a new link belt. This is my Oliver lathe. It was built back in the 1940s. It has a 36-inch long bed and a standard 12-inch swing over the bed. I bought this lathe from my good friend Hap Sakwa, who installed a 2-inch riser block. That means it can hold a piece up to 16 inches in diameter. It's sturdy and weighs approximately 500 pounds. The motor has variable speeds, with the slowest being about 900 RPM. And this is the lathe that we'll use to turn our bowl. This lathe is my pride and joy. It's a one-way 2436. This bad boy also has a 36-inch bed, but it has a 24-inch swing. It weighs about 850 pounds, and it's really the Cadillac of lathes because it has a variable speed control, massive bearings in the headstock, and it runs extremely quiet. It's an expensive lathe, but I found that the work that I was able to turn out enabled me to justify the cost. As I said, for our introduction to turning, we're going to use my Oliver lathe to make a simple bowl. There are only a few basic parts that are common to all lathes: the headstock, the tailstock, the bed, and the tool rest. There are generally two categories for working wood on the lathe: between centers, or spindle turning, where the workpiece is attached at both ends of the lathe. This technique is commonly used for turning objects like chair or table legs, columns, and stair rail spindles. And then there's faceplate turning, which is attaching the stock to the drive shaft with a mechanical fastener, a faceplate. This is the method we'll use to make our bowl. We're going to use Claro walnut. Our blank is 9 by 9 by 4 1/4 inches. We've already jointed one face flat. Now we'll use a circle template and trace out the diameter of our bowl. At the bandsaw, we save ourselves time and effort by roughly cutting the bowl to shape before mounting it on the lathe. Place a sacrificial block of poplar onto the center of our walnut and trace out the shape. Then, attach it with cyanoacrylate glue. Clamp securely and let it dry. Then attach the faceplate with some screws. The faceplate is essentially a flat metal disc that will screw onto the drive shaft of the lathe. Before we start, it's a good idea to go over my personal safety rules for wood turning. Number 1, be sure the wood is always secured properly to the lathe. Thread the faceplate onto the drive shaft until it's tight. Then, standing to one side of the lathe, outside the line of fire, turn it on and test its balance. The next safety rule is to always use the tool rest when cutting. Place it as close as possible to the wood. The tool rest helps to minimize the downward leverage on the tool. And never let the tool contact the wood before it's supported by the tool rest. Number 3, always use sharp tools. This is a wood turning gouge. I mark the tip black, so as I sharpen it with a grinding stone, I'll know the edges and bevel are honed when the black mark is ground away. Notice the handles. I custom made all the handles of my turning tools using a variety of woods. The long handles allow me to get the best leverage and maintain control of the tool. Number 4, always let the wood come to the tool. Don't force the tool into the wood. If you let the wood come to the tool, a nice clean surface will result. Number 5, wear sensible clothes. Don't have any loose or dangling sleeves. They might get caught. It's also a good idea to wear comfortable and strong shoes. You'll be standing as you work, and there'll be a lot of chips and maybe some tools that could be dropped on your feet. I'm going to suit up and get ready to turn. If you'd like more information about this episode, or any of the projects that we made here on WoodWorks, log on to our website at DIYnetwork.com.
Coming up, see how we turn the outside shape of our bowl.
This program brought to you by the Home Depot. You can do it, we can help.
You can turn a high-traffic area into a high-fashion area. No one has a more stylish selection, and no one has more carpet know-how than the Home Depot. And nobody beats our prices. Only the Home Depot has Stainmaster's new Platinum Plus collection with the industry's best warranty. Installation is guaranteed through the Home Depot. It's premium carpet that's as soft and beautiful as it is durable. You can make your home wall-to-wall wonderful. Only at the Home Depot. You can do it, we can help.
Need to tune up your outboard, stay current with accessories, or not feel like a fish out of water? Ship-Shape Boating will show you the ropes. Saturday at 10:30 Eastern on DIY Network. Two teams going head-to-head. A fully stocked tool warehouse. Warehouse Warriors. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on DIY Network.
I am so glad this is over.
Welcome back. We're just about ready to use our lathe to turn a simple wood bowl. Now I'm putting on some special clothes to protect myself, because when the lathe goes on and I start turning, the wood chips are going to be flying. We've already rough cut our bowl blank, glued on a sacrificial block, attached the faceplate, and mounted it on the lathe. Now we'll turn our bowl. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to exercise safety around the lathe and protect yourself from flying wood chips. This jacket is designed for turning. It has a Velcro collar that will prevent chips from getting down your shirt. I use these gaiters around my legs because I hate getting wood shavings down my socks. I also wear this polycarbonate face shield. Now, if you're doing a lot of turning and you can afford it, you might want to invest in a battery-powered face guard that has a positive airflow. These are especially helpful when sanding. Now, I think we're ready. Position the tool rest in close proximity to the side of the stock. Slide the tail stock so it makes contact with the walnut blank and tighten it down. For safety, I generally use the tailstock to help support the workpiece in the first stages of turning. Starting with a 5/8 of an inch super flute bowl gouge, we true up the side of the blank. This means we will make our walnut blank a perfect circle. We'll start at the slowest speed on the Oliver lathe, 900 RPM. Initially, you might experience some bumping and vibrations on the tool until the blank is reduced to a true cylinder. Remember to let the wood come to the tool. Guide the gouge along the tool rest at a consistent spacing. We are making shear cuts by holding the flute at a 45-degree angle. Next, reposition the tool rest to the front of the stock and true up the face. Our walnut blank is now a cylinder. We've defined the diameter of our bowl. Now we can start to shape the outside. Notice that the grain runs horizontally this way. We want to shape from the bottom up so that the fibers are supported. This will help to minimize tear out. We'll cut with the grain, working the tool from the smaller bottom diameter to the larger top diameter. With the tool rest about a 1/2 inch from the foot of the stock, start cutting up from the base to develop the profile. Continue using a gentle pulling motion with the bowl gouge. After a few minutes, you can start to see the outside profile developing. Holding the gouge on its side produces a nice clean cut. Maintain a firm grip, but not too tight. The Claro walnut I'm turning is dry wood, seasoned, as opposed to green wood. Green wood means that the tree has been recently cut, and the wood still has a high moisture content of sap and water. Green wood is easier to turn, but not always available. With the tool rest repositioned along the base of the bowl, continue to refine the outside curve, pulling the gouge up from the foot. Now, using a parting tool, cut into the sacrificial block of poplar. We want to remove some of it so that we'll have access to shape the base of the bowl. Once the poplar is cut away, I'll use the tip of the parting tool on its side to refine the foot detail. Next, using a 1-inch dome scraper, refine the profile of the bowl. As I work, I'm always checking the outside profile for the shape. My advice for design is to follow the classics. Look at the early forms of pottery to get a sense of proportion and style. The outside of our bowl is now shaped. A few rough spots here and there, but that's okay. We can fix that with a little more scraping. Once we level it all to our satisfaction, we can sand it. With the side profile complete, I'll sand the surface starting with some 120 grit sandpaper on an air-powered angle grinder. I prefer the pneumatic sander because it's much faster than sanding by hand. The speed of the lathe is on the low setting, 900 RPM. I'll sand starting at 120 and work up to 320 grit. Now that the outside profile is complete, we can concentrate on turning the inside of the bowl. First, we'll take some measurements to determine the depth of our bowl. We want it to be about a 1/2 inch thick at the bottom. We'll be right back.
Coming up, see how we hollow out the inside of our bowl.
A sander's a great tool, but it's not the way to flatten a surface. For that, you need a plane, and the longer the plane, the better. I use this 22-inch long number 7, first planing across the grain to flatten the surface, then switch to a short number 4, planing with the grain to smooth it. You can find all kinds of planes and learn how to use them and lots of other tools at your local Woodcraft store. Come in and ask questions, watch a demo, or sign up for a class. We can help you discover the art of woodworking. For store locations or a catalog, go to woodcraft.com.
How did it come to this? All these different antifreeze formulas, all these different colors. This stops now. Big Yellow's taking over.
What are you talking about?
Trust me, Sally. Trust Presto is good for all makes, all model cars.
Big Yellow don't take over. I take over.
New Formula Prestone. Good for all makes, all model cars. Mixes with any color antifreeze.
Big Yellow could take over. You know, whichever.
Trust Presto for your own protection.
Nice.
Yeah. With XM satellite radio, you get over 100 channels to choose from.
Wow.
What would it be like if Avis didn't try harder?
Excuse me.
What's up?
There's something wrong with our radio. We can only get one station.
Oh, this is a good song.
If we didn't try harder, we wouldn't be Avis. XM satellite radio, free with any premium or luxury car. Give us a call.
Millions of people are whitening their teeth with Crest White Strips. So what's the story? Come with me and we'll find out. First stop, celebrity makeup artist Carmody.
Even the most stylish people don't realize just how much more beautiful and whiter their teeth can be. So now the first thing I do when I get a new client is I make them use Crest White Strips Premium. See? Beautiful.
Let's find out more. Says here you'll start seeing results with Crest White Strips Premium after just 3 days, and a beautiful whiter smile in only 7 days. So let's talk to women who've tried these.
My daughter said, "Mom, your smile is so much brighter." And it made me feel so good inside.
It almost felt like if you went on a diet and it actually worked and you lost 20 pounds, it was sort of that same feeling because it's a product that really works.
I was concerned that they might harm my enamel, so I consulted my dentist, and he said they were safe to use and actually encouraged me to use them.
To get a beautiful whiter smile, you need Crest White Strips Premium. I have mine. What about you? Stop waiting. Start whitening.
Still unsure? Go online to get a $7 coupon for Crest White Strips Premium. Irresistibly white, irresistibly beautiful.
You're watching WoodWorks on DIY, the do-it-yourself network.
Your remote control has the power to get you what you want when you want it. You can order pay-per-view movies and events, add entertainment packages like HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, and Stars, view and pay your Dish Network bill on Channel 100, and much more with just your remote control. All you need to do is connect a phone line to your receiver, and all the convenience and benefits of Dish Network are at your fingertips.
Dish On Demand Pay-Per-View invites you to see a special presentation of Twisted, including bonus materials created exclusively for Dish Network customers. Order the movie and stay tuned afterwards for interviews with the stars, comments from the director, and a behind-the-scenes look at the making of this hit film. Don't miss it. This special presentation is available exclusively from Dish On Demand Pay-Per-View. Order Twisted tonight.
Meet Adaro. Like every Habitat for Humanity homeowner, she's helping to build her own home with something we call sweat equity. But she can't do it alone. She needs help from people like you. When you volunteer to build a Habitat home, you make a difference in many people's lives, beginning with your own. Do it yourself. Do it for others with DIY, Do It Yourself Network, and Habitat for Humanity, lending a hand where it's needed most. Brought to you by Masco Corporation, a world leader in home improvement and building products.
Welcome back to our introduction to wood turning. We've just finished shaping the outside, and now we're going to hollow out the inside of our wooden bowl. I'll place the tool rest here, parallel to the surface, and about a ½ inch away. So far, we've reduced our blank to a true circle, shaped the profile, defined the base, and power sanded the side. Now we'll turn the inside of our bowl. Now I'll take our superflute bowl gouge and begin to hollow out the inside of our bowl. I'll introduce the tip of the gouge to the stock with the flute on its side. As I feed it in, I'll rotate it so that the flute is at a 45-degree angle to the tool rest. That will produce a shear cut, removing the bulk of the wood. I'm cutting with a grain by working from the large diameter to the small diameter. As I hollow out the bowl, the bevel of the gouge rubs as the flute faces outwards. This technique is called rubbing the bevel. I'm not forcing the edge of the tool into the wood. You don't want to take too deep of a cut. You want to find that sweet spot where you're riding the ridge, getting good shavings, and the tool is gliding through the wood. Gradually widen the bowl with a series of arcing cuts, each starting further from the center than the last. Along the way, keep measuring for depth. After a while, you'll find you extend the gouge too far and you lose your leverage. Switch out the straight tool rest with a curved bowl rest that allows the cutting tip to extend deeper into the stock and still be supported. Continue making a series of shear cuts to hollow out the inside. As we get closer to the edge, we risk cutting through the side with the bowl gouge. So, we'll use a parting tool to cut a rabbet into the rim. This has two advantages. Number one, it will establish the thickness of our wall, and number two, it will provide a groove for the bowl gouge to track. The gouge is tilted to 45 degrees and the flute faces outwards. Make a series of shear cuts to the center. Use a double-ended caliper to get a good idea of how much wood we still need to hollow out. Now we'll go to the 1-inch dome scraper to remove the waste towards the center, refining the inner curve until it is complete. Now using 60 grit sandpaper, sand the inside surface to remove any tool marks. Then with a pneumatic sander, sand the inside to 320 grit to make the surface smooth to the touch. For the foot of our bowl, I'll first use a parting tool to get access to the base, separating the bowl from the sacrificial block, leaving a small nub. Then, using a spigot chuck, remount the bowl. The spigot chuck is essentially a block of wood mounted to a faceplate with a piece of leather on its nose to protect the inside of the bowl. Slide the bowl over the spigot and hold it in place using the tailstock against the nub. Once the tool rest is set, define the foot using the bowl gouge and the parting tool. Then sand the foot with 120 grit. Now I'll just chisel off the poplar nub, scrape it, and sand the foot by hand to 320, and then we'll be ready for the finish. We'll be right back.
Up next, our turn bowl gets a beautiful finish.
Brought to you by Woodcraft, helping you make wood work for 75 years.
A sander's a great tool, but it's not the way to flatten a surface. For that, you need a plane, and the longer the plane, the better. I use this 22-inch long number 7, first planing across the grain to flatten the surface, then switch to a short number 4, planing with the grain to smooth it. You can find all kinds of planes and learn how to use them and lots of other tools at your local Woodcraft store. Come in and ask questions, watch a demo, or sign up for a class. We can help you discover the art of woodworking. For store locations or a catalog, go to woodcraft.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. If your car's got a dirty air filter, it's robbing your horsepower and killing your gas mileage. Get to AutoZone and replace your air filter today. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Floor. May I take your order?
This is my place. I'd say Floor is more dining revolution than restaurant. And I owe it all to the Bissell Flip It.
Gazpacho?
Because these floors need to be spotless. First you vacuum, then just flip it to wash and dry.
For sealed hardwood, vinyl, or tiled floors in your home, the new Flip It from Bissell.
No need for a 5-second rule here.
Too much credit card debt? Is your credit less than perfect? Then log on or call Ditech.com. Ditech can help you to consolidate your high interest and credit card debt into one low monthly payment or put cash in your pocket. Call 1-800-DITECH-1.
You can turn a high traffic area into a high fashion area. No one has a more stylish selection and no one has more carpet know-how than the Home Depot. And nobody beats our prices. Only the Home Depot has Stainmaster's new Platinum Plus collection with the industry's best warranty. Installation is guaranteed through the Home Depot. It's premium carpet that's as soft and beautiful as it is durable. You can make your home wall-to-wall wonderful. Only at the Home Depot. You can do it, we can help.
Welcome back to our introduction to wood turning. Now I'll pare off the nub with a chisel, and then we'll use a sanding pad on the drill press to sand the base. If you want some more information about this bowl project, or about any of the projects that we've made here on WoodWorks, log on to our website at DIYnetwork.com. So far, we've hollowed out the inside, defined the rim, sanded the inner curve, and shaped the foot. Now, we'll finish our bowl. The sanding pad is really a great idea. It's a Velcro pad attached to a metal post. It's a great time saver because in the past, you'd have to glue the sandpaper in place. This way, you simply pull one off and add the next. I'm done with the 80 grit pad. Now I'll put on some 120 grit, working my way up to 320 to match the rest of the bowl. Here's a tip. To make sure the base is level, tape sandpaper to a flat surface and simply sand the foot of the bowl. Now we're ready for the finish. Since we may want to use this bowl for food, it's a good idea to use a non-toxic salad bowl finish which is oil-based. Wearing gloves, carefully brush and wipe the finish onto the surface of the bowl. There is something satisfying about turning wood. The graceful motion of the tools, the shower of shavings, the feel of the tool sculpting the wood, all bring a sense of exhilaration and accomplishment when a piece of raw wood is transformed by your bare hands into a personal work of art. Now, I don't expect you to master this craft quickly. There's a bit of a learning curve, if you will. Getting the feel for how the wood, tool, motion, and speed all work together. Don't be discouraged. It's a great skill to possess. And I know I'll always be perfecting my turning skills. Thanks for watching. Have fun turning. We'll see you next time on WoodWorks.
I'm Bob Allen. Stop, look, and listen for Allen's Paradise Valley Railroad. We had a store in Detroit, J.L. Hudson. Christmas time, I could take, for 6 cents, I could take the streetcar and ride downtown and look at the model trains knowing I could never afford it. But things have changed. In the beginning, I started off with just one set of tracks and was really happy with it. And the more I looked at it and the room that I had, I thought, I can expand on this, and did. It may not look it because of the size of the layout, but I have 75 plants, bonsai. I was doing bonsai before I got into garden railroading. Each plant is in a pot, and the pot is buried in the ground. This way I can control the growth of the root of the plant. All of my buildings on the railroad are scratch built. These buildings are 1/2 inch to the foot. So I cut the lumber to scale size, glue, waterproof glue, and brass nails, and glue and nail it all together. A building like this takes approximately 50 to 55 hours to construct. This has been a labor of, everyone says a labor of love, but it has also been physical and mental therapy. It keeps your mind active, it keeps your hands active, and I think it's a wonderful hobby. This is Allen's Paradise Valley Railroad, and I did it myself.
What's more important than a comfortable home? Warm in the winter and cool in the summer. The heating and cooling systems that make it happen are among the most complex and technologically advanced in the entire house. And yet, they are almost invisible.
Filter in your hood, then you're losing horsepower and killing your gas mileage. So do something about it today. Get to AutoZone right now and put a new air filter in your car. Get the horsepower back, get better gas mileage, and start saving money today.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.